Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for Wednesday, November 27th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. In the morning, I will also be posting my injury report and injury updates throughout the day, as well as starting lineups as they do become available throughout the evening. I will try to get an updated core out as well. I'll have a couple other things going on, but we'll do what we can to make sure that is possible at the same time as well. But without further ado, we'll get right into it with the DraftKings side. We're going to start off at the point guard position. So I did end up on Chris Paul once again, $6,300, looking for 31-32 at him. Essentially, he's been averaging so far this season. Goes against Los Angeles Lakers. Have him currently projected for about 33. It is a back-to-back. There are 9 teams on the back-to-back in total. It's going to be 11 games slated on DraftKings, 14 over on FanDuel. So there's going to be a lot of news that we'll get for those back-to-back teams especially. So keep an eye on that as value could open up throughout the day, especially at this point guard position. That's kind of the one that I struggled with the most so far, but definitely do like Chris Paul once again if he does ultimately end up playing on this back-to-back. Then we move down to shooting guard with Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets. You could also play him at small forward. Goes against Miami Heat. You know, not the greatest matchup in the world for him personally, but $7,400, look for 37 on him, what he's averaging so far on the season. And as of late, he's been on a monster tear. So currently I'm projected for about 40-41. Definitely does have some pretty strong upside for more at the same time as well. Then we move down to small forward Denny Advia. He's been playing bigger minutes as of late. This Portland team is really banged up, especially in the front court, so could be some additional opportunities for him there. It's a pace-up spot versus the Indiana Pacers. $5,500, not a bad price tag there. We're looking for 27, 28 out of him. He's averaging about 26 so far on the season. And I currently have him projected for 30 for this slate, but definitely does have some pretty strong upside for more as he's a guy that can contribute in a lot of different ways. Then we move down to power forward with Harrison Barnes. Once again, still $4,500, looking for 22, 23 out of him, averaging just under 21.5 so far on the season. Obviously, he was a core pick for Tuesday. At the time of this recording, that game has not yet happened, so his previous 3 games have been doing really well. Currently, I have him projected for about 28, but definitely does have some pretty strong upside for more at the same time as well if he continues his recent trend of success. Then last but not least, we're going to go with Visa Zubac at that center position. He is $7,000. Looking for 35 out of him. Goes against the Washington Wizards, a very, very favorable matchup. Averaging 38 so far on the season. He's been up over that 35-point threshold for 5 times the value that we're looking for out of him in his most recent game. So there's not really too much that I can say bad about him for the slate overall. Looks like a really good value at that center position. Obviously, the center position is typically loaded on these larger slates at the same time as well, though. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed, you have $19,300 remaining, just over $6,400 remaining per player. So looking a little bit more like a bounce build type of day. Obviously, with the 9 teams on the back-to-back, there's going to be some value that does open up throughout the day, especially in terms of injury news. Guys potentially sitting on the back half of the back-to-back as we head into Thanksgiving, where there'll be an extra day off. So if teams are trying to give additional days of rest to some of their star players, they won't get hurt or anything else like that. That is a possibility for the slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, at the point guard position, we're going to go with Jaden Ivey. He's been kind of that de facto point guard for them now with Cade Cunningham banged up. Once again, I will have that morning injury report with some of that updated news, but Jaden Ivey's played really well in his absence. 35, 36 is what we're looking for out of him. Averaging 32 fantasy points per game on the season, but that is when Cade Cunningham has mostly been on the court, so usage goes up without him. He gets a little bit of a bump in terms of assists at the same time as well. Interesting matchup versus the Memphis Grizzlies, but I definitely do like him in this matchup overall. Currently, I'm projected for 37, but does definitely have some upside for more at the same time as well. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with an interesting name that we haven't seen so far this year. It's Kelly Oubre Jr. of the Philadelphia 76ers. $5,700, looking for 28, 29 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 29-30. Goes against the Houston Rockets. Not the greatest matchup in the world, if we're being honest. However, this Philadelphia 76ers team, very banged up, especially in terms of the front court right now. Caleb Martin may or may not play. There's going to be additional minutes to go around. Kelly Oubre should be somebody that benefits from that just in general. And at the same time, if he's contributing steals and blocks like he's done the last couple of games, going to pay off pretty good. If he's shooting the ball well, going to be a big performance for him. Obviously, he's going to be one of those boom bust type of guys. So you could have the really strong performance. You could have kind of a dud performance. It's kind of the risk that you're going to take with a player like him on these slates. But a very interesting GPP play at the very least. Maybe not cash game play, but definitely a guy that I do like and has some consideration for the slate overall. Then we're going to move down to small forward once again with Jimmy Butler. $8,600, looking for 43 out of him. Averaging just over 37 so far on the season. Obviously, he has dealt with a plethora of injuries, but he's played really well. It's a really attractive matchup versus the Charlotte Hornets. The one concern you might have here is kind of being one of those star players, potentially resting on the back-to-back, so we'll see if he's in or not. But if he's in, definitely do like him. Have him projected for about 45, 46 in a very, very attractive matchup versus the Charlotte Hornets. Then we move down to power forward with Denny Avdija of the Portland Trailblazers. Like I mentioned on DraftKings, Portland is very banged up, especially in terms of that front court at this point in time. $5,800. We're looking for 29 now. It's a good pace-up spot versus the Indiana Pacers, who are a little bit banged up in their own right. Denny Avdija is a player that can contribute in a lot of different ways. Currently, I'm projected for 30-31 tonight, but definitely has a little bit of upside for more if he's contributing in those ways and kind of scoring the ball a little bit more than he typically does. And with that being said, last 2 games he's been playing a good chunk of minutes and been playing really well in his own right, so I definitely do like that upside, especially with those injuries for this Portland Trailblazers team at this point in time. Then last but not least, we're going with the paydown option at the center position. If you want to pay up for someone else, definitely do understand that. You can also move Brandon Clark over to power forward if that's something you want to do. $4,800, kind of been starting that center spot for this Memphis Grizzlies team. It's an interesting matchup versus Jalen Duren, but one I think he could probably succeed in. Clark is a guy that can contribute in a lot of different ways, especially in terms of steals, blocks, rebounds, and scoring the ball, although he's probably not somebody that Memphis relies on in a big way in that regard. But currently I'm projected for 26 points. You're looking for 24 at least out of him for 5 times value at $4,800. If you get a big steal or block game out of him, could easily outperform this price tag in a pretty big way. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed, you're at $28,000 exactly remaining, $7,000 per player. So it looks like a pretty interesting build for the day overall. You could probably pay up for a star player or 2 and then pay down at some other spots. Should be some pretty good value, especially on the FanDuel side where it is a 14-game main slate, 9 teams on the back-to-back. A lot of news that will be moving throughout the day, especially with some guys potentially resting heading into Thanksgiving to get that extra day of rest. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below. And then once again, as always, I will be posting my injury report in the morning, injury updates throughout the day, and then I will be trying to get to as many starting lineups as possible throughout the night, as well as an updated core, hopefully 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock. Might be a little bit sooner than that, but definitely be on the lookout for all that news. But with that being said, if you were brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have NBA DFS in terms of the core picks, typically Tuesday through Friday. This week is just going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. Obviously, no NBA slate on Thursday, and then I'll be out of town, so there will be no Friday video as well, but we'll be back next Tuesday. And then I do typically post up my NFL DFS player pool video. Probably not going to get to the video this week, but we'll have my cheat sheets and player pool up on the Patreon page as well. I will try to make that player pool free once again over on the Patreon page as well. And then last but not least, if you're interested in prop betting, if you're interested in sports betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you are a brand new user to any one of those 3 sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Parlay Play and Prize Picks, it's a 100% match up to $100, and then for BetUS, it's a 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty good opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tune in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS for Wednesday, November 27th.